Divide and impada, divide and divide and impada. Yeah, it's a weird word, right? It's Latin. We'll talk about it a little bit. But here's another question. Have you ever wondered, like in America itself, why is it everyone is so divided, right? Totally on opposite ends right now. The left, the right, middle. I mean, this everybody sees everything so differently right now. And it's nuts, right? Don't make sense most of the time. And you can't almost get a grip on what's the reason. What don't make sense about it is here in America, we all have the same issues, right? Everybody, you know, tired of high taxes. We want lower prices in groceries, lower prices in food. We want affordable health care. You know, everybody, everybody does. And you also you want, less crime, right? Everybody does. The difference is that we might see different ways of getting to those goals, but the goals are the same. Everybody wants those things. So why is it that everybody's so divided? Good question. And I think I got a little bit of insight onto what happened. Like, it almost seemed like everybody has the same goals in life, be it how you raise your kids, safe schools, healthcare, lower taxes, affordable healthcare. The whole gambit. Everybody is saying the same exact thing, but we're in a place where everybody seems to be enemies. It don't almost make sense. A little history I'm going to give y'all today. So stay tuned. Hold on. What's up? And I'm saying welcome back to Fade to Black, the podcast where it never fades. And today we're going to dive into one of the oldest and most effective power plays in history. It's a strategy that has been used by emperors, kings, and yes, your favorite modern politicians. It's on both sides of the aisle here. So I'm talking to the left, the right, the middle. This is used by all. It's called divide and conquer. Now, the phrase might sound dramatic. It does. And trust me, it's been shaping societies for, oh my God, what, thousands of years? If not, we have to start way back where I'm talking ancient Rome, the Latin, divine et impetus. I might be saying that a little wrong. I haven't got my Latin, it's been a while, be it known. I never actually was into speaking Latin, but I was in choir, so I sung a lot of Latin. Been a while, high school while. Anyway, but the phrase, divine impetus, it literally means divide and rule. It was called a strategy used by rulers like Julius Caesar and let's see, who else? Augustus, to control mass empires made up of different tribes, languages, and religions. See, the idea was simple. If the people ever united, they could overthrow the empire. But if you keep them divided, arguing, fighting, mistrusting one another, they will never come together long enough to challenge you, the people at the top. And Rome wasn't the only one doing this. Centuries later, the British Empire really took on this playbook and perfected it, during colonization. It would be amplified in ethnic and religious divisions like in India. It was India, I think, between the Hindus and the Muslims, or in Africa, where the colonial powers drew borders that split tribes and mixed rivals. Almost sounds like we are drawing our maps. We put everybody into these little tribes, right? Sounds all familiar, right? This sounds super familiar. It almost sounds like it's being done to us. Well, I'm here to let you know because it is. It is being done to us. Why? Because dividing people is easier to control, easier to manipulate, and harder to organize. See, fast forwarding to today, and the tactics haven't gone away. They just got rebranded, dressed up like political campaign, cable news, social media, algorithms. Instead of the empires and armies, we got politicians and pundits using the same psychological warfare. Only now is digital. Think about it. Our political system runs on division. Left versus right, red versus blue, urban versus rural, and we can go on and on and on. White versus black, this and that. It's all a scam. It's all a scheme because dividing keeps us apart. And when we're apart, it keeps them in power because it would be much harder for politicians to explain how to fix things when everybody is in unison working together to put pressure on our politicians because ultimately we want the same stuff. See, policy used to matter. That's how we used to judge our politicians. What could you do for the American people? But now you hear, what can you do for my side? What can you do for their side? And it's so on and so forth. See, every election session, we're told the other side is dangerous, un-American, unpatriotic, evil. I mean, all the stuff, you name it. Nazis, you just name everything. You're being fed this from both sides. Why? Because they want to keep you, American people, separate. Because divide and then conquer. Or in the sense of Rome, divide and rule. And both sides do it because fear and anger mobilize voters way faster than unity ever had. See, Obama came in, talk about hope, and it worked for a while, but that arch always bends back to them figuring out a way to turn that hope into fear, turn that that togetherness into anger. Because nothing like an angry person to guarantee that he's going to go out and vote. Ain't nothing like someone that's scared. God, all of these immigrants in here, they're killing, they're raping, they're eating the cats and dogs. I gotta vote. And, oh my God, if the Republicans, oh my God, they're going to take our democracy and tear up the Constitution. Is over, people. We gotta go vote. Oh no. All those things is one big prop scam that they put onto you to rule you, to control you, to guarantee that you stay on the team. Works because it wouldn't make any other sense of us fighting against each other when we exactly want the same. We're on the same grass. We're under the same stars. We're on the same continent. We need the same things. But they convinced you that my skin, I want something different than you. I want to take your jobs. I want to hurt you because I'm a black male. Can't trust me. Don't have certain intelligent level. I suck up the resources. Or someone tell me that white guy is dangerous. All they think about is their guns. They're all racist. They're going to try to kill innocent people to keep power. They're not going to ever leave the White House. All these things was put into your head by design, and it's continuously being fed to you each and every single day. Every time you wake up, your news is telling you stories. I could turn on, they'll tell me all the things that are terribly happening via the White House or the right. And then I can go on the Fox News and I will get a terrible outlook and picture of the inner city violence and the dangers, and all of the criminal activity. My God, it's unfathomable. We have to bring in law enforcement, the military, and militarize our whole neighborhoods. It just depends on which one you're watching because it's designed for you. So if you're watching Fox News, they're going to give you what you need, keep you on their team versus CNN is giving the liberals, the left rather, what they need, keep them on their team. He said, what the news? Well, one, the news itself is part of it. Why? Because once the politicians capture a certain group based on what bad information they're feeding you, that news organization wants to keep that audience. So they will reinforce what those politicians fed to keep that audience. Because we're talking millions upon millions of people. Same with Fox, same with CNN, NBC. They will focus on keeping that audience because they are a business after all. So while we're busy fighting each other over headlines, hashtags, folks in power, the ones writing the laws and cashing checks, they're sitting back watching the show, enjoying it. Here's the real danger. It's not just politicians. This division bleeds into how we treat each other each and every day. We start seeing our neighbors, co-workers, even our families through these tribal lenses. And once this happens, it doesn't matter who wins the election. We all lose a little more connection, a little more common ground. But the crazy part, unity still scares the powerful. I remember my dad, his soul, he was a minister after he came out the military, and he was a Lansing police officer for a while. And it was this old church song. And I remember he used to love singing it. It was called In Unity There's Strength. In unity there's strength. Work to be done, victory to be won. In unity there's strength. It's a true statement. And that's a scary thing. Because when people start looking past labels and realizing how much they actually have in common, that's when real change happens. And that's why the divide and conquer strategy keeps getting recycled generation after generation. New versions, new styles. It adapts. People think they outsmarted it. They'll come back in another form. We're in a digital society, so social media plays a big part in spreading hate and disdain for each other. I watch in fascination, actually, of certain sites, left and right. Got some sites that just feed bad publicity just about black people. I mean, they're efficient. I'm impressed by the efficiency of it. Like, they scour the internet all over the world because some of these videos that they post some are just from foreign lands. But the message is the same. They're feeding a message to people. And then you have people put their statistics, and then you have the other racist people will be feeding that. And then on the left, you have just like, just the openness cruelty of some people. Like when Charlie Kirk got shot and killed, the cruelty. And what shocked me the most by the cruelty of some of the people on the left that was doing it was that these were very young people, celebrating someone being horrifically shot. Now, I've been EMT for 23 plus years, knowing the horrors of and being in the military, knowing the horrors of, seeing that. And people was able to still joke about it. I don't care if you liked him or not. It wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't know much about him until this pretty much happened. Interesting character, but I wouldn't wish that on anyone at all, not over words. I, for one, don't understand why so many people give him the time of day to respond to some of the things. But that's just me. I think the best policy is just to not engage in a, to me, a pointless conversation. Because to me, they're pointless. They were not meant for anything. It wasn't meant to improve our society. It wasn't meant to help or be a teaching tool for us. So I didn't get the point. And it definitely wasn't enough to kill the man over in front of his family. But to joke about it was sickening. But that's both sides. And I don't fault these young kids on both sides because there was young conservatives caught in the chat. Well, they wasn't young, 20s, 30s, saying some horrific racial stuff. Horrific. But that's divide and conquer. This was taught to them. They're doing exactly what we taught them to do. And then we're surprised that someone can maybe pick up an AR-15 and walk into a classroom of kids, people they never met before, store, people they never met before, don't know who they are, and pull the trigger and shoot them and kill them. People, politicians, media has divided us to conquer us, and we allowed it. We're fighting with each other for nothing. And the only beneficiaries of all of this, is the politicians that we keep voting into power after they used the tool on us, after they taught us how to hate our brothers and sisters, our fellow Americans. Can you imagine telling an American you hate this country because you have a different view, because you might see something differently, because you're not on their team? They say you hate this country. We've been duped, folks. We've been had. We've been bamboozled. We have to think. From the Roman Empire to the Capitol Hill, the tactics might look different, but the goal hasn't changed. It keeps people divided, and you can rule without resistance. The question is, how long are we going to keep falling for the same old trick? Who knows? One day, maybe we'll wake up. Hopefully, it won't be too late, because I'm not anyone's enemy. On the right, on the left, middle, I know that I'm being told and being fed that I need to dislike a person because of this or that. But I know this same person goes to the same supermarkets, worry about the same prices. I know this person might go to the same doctor, worry about the same bills and the same pricings. I know this person still worries about their kids when they go to school, how they're being taught, who's teaching them, what they're being taught. I know we're in the same country with the same people. The problem is we've been duped. Divide and conquer. It's an old tool. It's been used on us. I just tell people, think about, what are you hating? what makes you mad. Why? Because this person thinks a little bit differently than you about something? That's not enough to hate a person. Sure, not enough to say he doesn't love his country. Just has a different view. Unfortunately, it's been exploited. Unfortunately, people take advantage of it. Someone, random person that shot Charlie Kirk has nothing to do with millions of other people. That's what he did. Same as the right. No matter what anyone does on that side and happens to be a Republican, liberal, or a independent. You notice now, soon something terrible happens, shooting, whatever. Everybody's waiting on pins and needles to see if they can find out if the person is leaning left, leaning right, a trans. It's crazy. That person's responsible for his own doing, not a party, because everybody's listening to the same stuff. I'm not going out trying to kill somebody. You're not going out trying to kill somebody. So why would I blame the party? Other people. Divide and conquer. Something we can relate to because we're a country that loves sports. Teams. We support our teams. I'm a Chiefs fan, and we're doing better. Some people are Cowboys fans. You'd be like, oh, you're still a Cowboys fan? That's their team. They're loyal to that team. So thick and thin, those people stay with their team. There's still Jets fans out there. The guy with his jacket on, he's a Jets fan to the end. He's loyal to his team. And that style has been exploited on us because they know that if we get them to be loyal to the team, they will ignore everything else. What the politician is doing, not doing, the lines they might cross. They don't care because they know that you're still going to be faithful to the team. Well, anyway, enough of that. Little history lesson. Divide and conquer, folks. Really start to think, how much am I being controlled by the media, social media? You think that you're your own person, have your own thoughts. Now, you're doing exactly what they want you to do. Because here's the thing, you can have a disagreement, right? The left, the right, people, Trump, or they say the red hats, or people that wear the MAGA hats and stuff, they have zero to do with what choices Trump and the administration makes. Well, why would y'all be so aggressively angry with them? Vice versa. Republicans, MAGAs, the vile way of responding to people and talking doesn't cross your mind. Why am I so angry with a person I didn't never met? I don't know who this person is. All I know is they're in the other party, and that's a good enough excuse for you to hate them. Well, let me tell you, if that's a good enough excuse for you to hate them, then you are a victim of divide and conquer. Simple as that. If you hate a person that you never met in your life, haven't sat down and talked to, just because they on the opposite party, left or right, middle, you are a victim of divide and conquer strategy because you're doing exactly what they wanted you to do. Hate somebody. Not because you know them, because of their political view. Something to think about. But thanks for tuning in, folks. Faded Black podcast. If you like this episode, please drop me a note, comment, share with somebody who needs to hear it. And remember, the conversation just never fades. Your feedback actually keeps this show running. So go to fadetheblackpodcast.com. You can sign up for our different things there and keep in touch. And also on IG, Instagram, Fade the Black Podcaster, on X, Fade the Black Me. That's ME, Fade the Black Me. TikTok, Fade the Black Podcast. So until next time, stay safe, Stay sarcastic and may your Wi Fi never shut down, even though the government does. I thought I would recycle that from last week because, surprisingly enough, the government still shut down as of Friday, October 17th. So I'll see y'all later and enjoy your weekend.